Hello and welcome back to my channel. Before I start to tell you what I've done this week, I want to give a shout out to somebody. I've started to follow a lovely young woman on YouTube and her title for her vlogs are Debbie SW. Debbie's on this journey with us and she's doing really well. There's a fabulous vlog up this morning of her food diary for a week, and I just want to encourage you, if you haven't found Debbie already, please give her a look. Please subscribe. Yeah, you're fab, Debbie. You're doing great. So look for Debbie, Debbie SW. Thanks. Right, this morning, my result. I gained a pound. I'm happy with that. I needed to either maintain or gain. I couldn't afford to lose because I was rock bottom in my target range. So I'm happy I gained a pound. I think it's just fluid. You know, you're going to vary from week to week. My food's been on plan all week. I'm happy with that. I've nothing I would take out or add in. I've done nothing extraordinary. So can't be anything other than happy. I want to just bring something from group this morning. These peanut heaven bars. Now some of the hi-fi bars are being discontinued. These are going. So with effect from Monday in your group, they should be on sale at 2 boxes for £2.50 instead of £1.95 a box. If they're not, check with your consultant. Now these are 6 sins each or 1 for a healthy bee choice. The other bars that are going are jam roly-poly, which just happen to be my favourite. So I'm a bit miffed about that, but I did buy 10 boxes this morning because they had quite a lot. And I thought, take advantage before they disappear. But the other ones I loved were the lemon, and they've gone. So too many chocolate ones now is what I say. Please, Slimming World, can we have some hi-fi bars that aren't all based on chocolate? The coconut macaroon bar is coming on the 18th of August. Okay. Something we've been looking at this week, which is not something I've ever addressed before during my weight loss journey, is BMI, Body Mass Index. I hadn't got a clue what mine would be today or what it ever was in the past. It's never been an issue. It's not something I've ever looked at. So Joe and I sat down this week and we looked back over my journey. When I was 50 and around the 22 stone mark, my BMI as a sedentary person was 56.3. Shock horror. When I was 55, still a sedentary person weighing 16 stone 8, my BMI was 42.4. Now, the heavier of those two weights had me as morbidly obese. At 16 stone 8, I think I was obese. Today, approaching 60, and I would say moderately active, my BMI is 26.3. Overweight. Still fall into the overweight category, even though when we worked this out during the week with me at 5'2" and 10 stone 4, which is less than I weighed at age 12, I was quite surprised, not disappointed because I don't give a toss if I'm honest, quite surprised to see that still has me in the overweight category. To get down to a BMI of 25, which is the top end of the healthy BMI, because a healthy BMI is 18.5 to 25. To get me down to 25, I'd need to lose another half stone. Now, I'm not prepared to do that. At my age, I could lose half a stone of fat. I would just gain a lot more loose skin. And thank you, but for today, I've got enough of that. So just sharing that with you. I don't think it's 100% relevant on our journey because the medics don't seem to use it the way they used to. But just a comparison, I have dropped 30 points in my weight journey. Somebody like Joe, who's young and active, he has a BMI of about 20. Now, for me today, that would be impossible because I'd probably need to weigh about 8.5 stone. And that, for me, would be ridiculous. But yeah, look at your own. Look at your age. Look at your lifestyle. Look at your height. I'm 5'2", so, you know, yours could be lower than mine because you're taller than me. But just have a look. It's interesting. Right. The next thing I want to talk about is my word for the week. Now, my word for the week this week is actually 2 words, and it's food diary. I want to stress for my journey the importance of my food diary. I still religiously, for want of a better word, write down my food every day. Every day. Even if I know I'm going to have a meal off plan, even if I know I'm going to flexi sin, whatever, I write my food down every day. Now, I don't keep these food diaries to look back on and re-experience if I want a good weight loss because I had a good weight loss that week. I don't write down my weight loss on my food diary or anything like that. I start on a Saturday. I write down my food diary on my computer every day through to Friday. That's my week. Then when I start again on the Saturday, I wipe the previous lot off. So I'm not keeping it because I'm not a diary or journal type person. I'm not keeping it for future reference. It's just for this week I need to know what I've done. So even if I was going to go out for a meal tonight that I knew was off plan, I'd still keep a food diary today. Because I want to know by next Saturday when I get weighed first thing in the morning how I've got to where I got to that week. And I tend to live in the day. So for me, it's one day at a time. 7 days I keep. At the end of the 7 days, wipe them off, they're gone. That's in the past. I don't live in the past anymore. So what I'm going to do now with Joe, and I'm going to try not to waffle too much because we've already run over on this video. I'm recording for a second time. I'm just going to go through my food diary for 3 days. Don't expect you to eat like this. I'm just sharing with you how I eat. And remember, I only cook for me. Joe cooks for himself. He eats differently to me. I don't think the way I eat would necessarily work if you're the mother of 4 children and you've got a big husband to feed, or if you're a single parent and you live on a budget. My shopping bill averages £120 to £140 a week because the money I used to waste on alcohol and fags has now been added into my food budget. And I'm fortunate in that I'm one of the older generation who's paid off my mortgage and doesn't have to worry about the things you young people have to cope with today. So,
and we don't crave for holidays.
And we don't crave holidays. We might have a holiday later this year, but we don't. We love the lifestyle we have today.
Much rather eat good food than have.
Yeah. Excuse that, please. We'd much rather eat good food at home today than scrimp and scrape to go on a holiday that we don't crave. So, some of you are in a different position. You're saving for holidays for your families. You're probably saving for a deposit on a house, different ages, different stages. It's all horses for courses. So I'm coming from the point of view of a 60-year-old woman who's, wasted a lot of money. We used to spend £60 a week on fags. I used to spend 20 plus quid on a litre of gin and not bat an eyelid. Those things have gone now. Don't do that anymore. So my food is my pleasure today. And I have shared before, I only eat what I really enjoy. So I'd pay a lot of money for good venison today or fillet steaks and things like that I wouldn't have done 5 years ago. I've spent all my money on chocolate and booze then. So let's just skip through this food diary so you can see this is 3 days out of this week. And you can see how I eat. Right, okay. Joe.
So for Monday, for breakfast you had an apple.
Speed.
2 eggs.
Protein.
2 Weetabix.
B choice.
A tub of quark.
Free.
And a Muller Lite.
Free.
For a mid-morning snack you had a fresh fig.
Free.
For lunch you had Tesco vegetable pasta salad.
That's a 400-gram tub for 2 cents.
With a tin of chickpeas.
Protein.
Gherkins.
Speed.
Celery.
Speed.
Beetroot.
Speed.
All chopped up and mixed together.
Yeah.
Followed by a fresh fruit salad of strawberries.
Speed.
Golden kiwis.
Free.
And mango.
Free.
For your dinner that day, you had 40 grams of mature cheddar light.
A choice.
Followed by a 500 gram pot of total 0% yogurt.
Free.
With 8 grams of flaked almonds on top.
2.5 cents.
Followed by a naked cocoa bar.
Oh, gorgeous, for 6.5 cents.
And 2 whole papayas.
2 whole papayas. You've got the taste for one, you need a second. And they're Speed.
For snacks that day, you had 2 Hi-Fi Light bars.
B choice.
And 400 millilitres of skimmed goat's milk used in coffee.
Yeah. And total sins for that day were 11. Forgive me if I keep looking over there, that's where Joe is.
On Tuesday, for breakfast again, you had an apple,
Speed,
2 eggs,
protein,
2 Weetabix,
B choice,
quark,
free,
and a Muller Lite.
free.
For lunch on Tuesday, you had 5% minced beef,
Protein.
cooked in Slimming World tomato sauce.
Now these are the tubs that they used to sell in Iceland, but they've been discontinued. But I had some, I'd got a stock in my freezer. And that would be speed.
We cooked that with diced peppers,
Speed,
mushrooms,
speed,
sliced green beans,
speed,
and then into it we added chopped raw celery
speed,
and gherkin.
speed,
For dessert, you had a 1 pound slice of watermelon from Asda.
speed.
For tea, you had 40 grams of mature cheddar light,
This is becoming a habit. That's an A choice.
an Aldi sushi box,
An Aldi sushi box, you get 6 pieces of sushi for £1.69 and they're 2.5 sins.
a packet of 4 tub biscuits,
5 sins.
a punnet of strawberries,
Marks and Spencer's, very nice. Speed.
a 500 gram pot of total 0% yogurt
I always go for the big pot because it's free if you have the small one or the big one.
with 10 grams of flaked almonds on
And
top.
10 grams of flaked look, I can't say it. That's 3 sins.
For snacks that day, you had 2 hi-fi light bars
B choice.
and 400 millilitres of skimmed goat's milk in coffees.
Yep. And that was a total of 10.5 sins.
Wednesday breakfast, you had apple,
Speed.
2 eggs,
Protein.
2 Weetabix,
B
a
choice.
250 gram pot of Asda quark,
Free.
and a Muller Lite.
Free. Now you'll notice I have the same breakfast every day, but only because I love it. Okay.
For lunch that day, we sautéed some vegetables.
Now we've bought a stainless steel saute pan from the Linear range at House of Fraser, and you don't need to add any fat to it. We just start with a splash of water, and so I don't use fry light anymore. And as you're sauteing your veg, if you find they're a bit dry, tiny drop more water. But by the time they're cooked, all the water's evaporated, and you can taste the veg. So my saute of veg was
It comprised of cauliflower rice,
speed,
red onion,
speed,
carrot,
speed,
sugar snap peas,
speed,
courgette,
speed,
mushrooms,
speed,
and then to it, when it was cooked, we added chopped up beetroot,
speed,
raw celery again,
speed, because I love the crunch,
and gherkins.
speed,
Also, to yours, I added a tin of butter beans.
protein. This is why I like different beans. I eat many, many different kinds of beans. The protein keeps you full. And I have the whole tin. I don't have a few. I have the whole tin. My lunch, all those vegetables and that tin of beans probably weighs, without exaggerating, more than 1 kilo. Because I don't have a tiny bit. I have a lot.
And to that, we added Worcester sauce
Which is free.
and Schwartz seasonal.
Which is free and delicious.
Yep, and for dessert that lunchtime on Wednesday, you had an apple.
Yeah, an apple speed. I'm really into pink lady apples at the moment.
It's just refreshing to have a piece of fruit after lunch.
Yeah, it is. Cleans your palate.
For tea, you had 40 grams of mature cheddar light,
That's a habit. A choice.
7 seafood sticks from Aldi,
They're free.
500 gram pot of total 0% yogurt,
That's on offer at the moment. £2 a tub rather than £2.47, and I love it.
with 20 grams of flaked almonds on top.
That's 6 sins for 20 grams. But if you add nuts to your food, the fat in the nuts will keep you full. It's worth using some of your sins on nuts, I think.
Yeah, that's a nice texture to it as well.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
You can throw them on salad, flaked almonds, they're really nice. Or your 23 hazelnuts for a B choice, yeah.
A packet of Go Ahead mini cookies.
They're 5 sins. I had the raspberry and white chocolate ones.
Don't you say they taste like Jolly Dodgers?
I think they taste like Jammy Dodgers, but I'm weird.
And a slice of Asda watermelon again.
Speed.
Snacks that day were 2 hi-fi light bars
B choice.
and 400 millilitres of skimmed goat's milk.
A choice. So you'll see I have
Total sins that day?
Oh, 11 sins. But you'll see I have 2 A's and 2 B's every day. That's because I'm maintaining. Okay. So as I say, I'm not advocating that anybody else eats like I do.
But food diaries do.
But yeah, what I'm talking about is keeping a food diary. You know, you don't have to show it to anybody. I wouldn't ordinarily show my food diary to anybody, but I wanted to share it with you today just to emphasise I think it's vitally important. There's a young lady I watch on here, a really, really nice young lady who's a nursery nurse. I think her name's Shan. I think that's how you say it. She shared in one of her vlogs this week about how 3 times in the week she went over on her sins because she made a mistake I used to make all the time. She ate it first, didn't look it up. Now I always eat first and then write it down. I don't plan in advance for my food diary. I eat what I'm eating and I write it down, and if at the end of the day I've got sins left over, I use them up. I don't waste them. But Shan said, 3 days I think in 1 week, she just looked things up after she'd eaten them. I used to do that all the time. If you can get into the habit of looking things up before you eat them, and when you've eaten them, write them down. It's just a notebook in your handbag. I mean, I do it on my computer, but that's easier for me because I can't write in a notepad, being blind. But there are ways for everybody to keep it's just a bit of paper, isn't it, and a pen. It doesn't cost anything, does it? But it makes a big difference on your journey, and you're worth it. Well, I think I'm worth it today, and I'm going to make the effort to stay where I'm at. So that's it this week. Focus on the food diary. Not just because you're losing weight, even if you're maintaining, it's worth not letting it run away with you. Okay. Have a couple of products of the week, and the first one is this. It's one of my family of beans. Organic black beans. Now, I've never seen black beans that aren't organic, but then, hey, why would you need them that weren't organic? These are lovely. They're generally, I don't know if they're $1.19 or $1.29 a tin in Morrison's. This week they're on offer 2 tins for £2. There's a lot you can do with these. You can throw them in a stir fry. They go well in a sort of Chinese style stir fry. You can put them in casseroles, in your slow cooker, with stews, with chicken dishes. You can just throw them, rinse them well before you eat them, and throw them cold into salads. But adds protein. Protein is filling power. Fat and protein are the filling powers. And that's why I eat nuts. That's why I eat cheese. Somebody in group said this morning, eating cheese every day. But you can. It's just the quantity you have to watch. There's nothing wrong with eating cheese every day. If you want to have your A choice as half milk, half cheese, if that works for you. If you want to have it as milk every day and sinew cheese, there's always round it. But I believe today, it's the fat and it's the protein that fill you up. Okay, that's just my opinion, but I think it's right. Because I think I'm always right. No, I don't. I'm only joking. The other product I'm bringing is, get the right way around, this. This is from Asda, and it's going to be part of my lunch today. It's, let me see if I can get it right, black kale, which I've never had before, so I'm trying a new vegetable, tender stem broccoli, carrot, sugar snap pea, red onion, and Daikon radish. Never had Daikon radish either, so that's 2 new vegetables. I pride myself on the amount of vegetables I like to eat. I was a vegetarian for 10 years. I've been a vegan as part of my life. And you kind of get to the stage where you've tried most things. But I've never tried Daikon radish, and I've never tried black kale. There's always something new. In Asda this week we saw a different papaya, didn't we? That we haven't had before. We might try that. Even though Joe doesn't like papaya, but I do. Last week we picked up the golden kiwis. They're lovely. So have a good look around your fruit and veg section in the supermarkets. Have a good look around your fruit and veg shops. There's generally going to be something new. Because as more Asian fruit and veg comes in, because of all the different cultures we now have in this country, we're going to get, it's going to open us up to more beautiful foods. So that's something I intend to keep looking for, fresh fruit and fresh, or as in new types of fruit and vegetables. So, was there anything else I Oh, one thing. In group this morning, somebody said, talking about hunger, Naomi, my group leader, says it's important to eat and fuel yourself, keep your metabolism going. She has a big breakfast, a morning snack, a big lunch, afternoon snack, a big dinner, and she eats as much as her husband does, and he's a lovely big chap. Not overweight, but a big chap. She always has supper, she uses her sins, she uses her healthy extras. She's at Target for 5 years. And if you can do all that and still be at Target, that's amazing. A lady said a girl she works with is always on a diet and believed that having a rumbly tummy and feeling hungry was a sign that your metabolism was working and you were burning off calories. I think if she Googled it and did some research, she'd find it's quite the opposite. When you get into that stage, your metabolism starts to stop because it thinks you're going into starvation mode. So it stops burning off calories. So for anybody today who's feeling hungry on this plan, can I encourage you to eat? Because if you're hungry, your fire's burning low, you need to chuck some fuel on. Think of yourself as that steam train. Keep it going. Yeah, I'm, thank God, never hungry. Couldn't stand it. Hate to be hungry. So I'm just going to bring you, I'm just going to put these couple of things on the floor, and I'm going to bring you the last picture in my kitchen collection from my artist's son. Now this is the cool cucumber. Yeah. There he is in all his glory. I'll lift him up, see if we can see his shoes. And then down he goes again. So that's picture number 5 in my collection of 5 fruits and vegetables. And, well, no, what have I got? A tomato, a strawberry, a cucumber, a carrot, and a seed. So these
3 speeds and a healthy extra.
3 speeds and a healthy extra, my seed.
4 speeds.
Yeah. 4 speeds and a healthy extra, yeah.
Okay.
These pictures today, done by Joe, illustrate, I can't see them, but I know they're there. They're a reminder to me of the way I'm choosing to eat today. Keep me on plan. It's too valuable to lose. I'm not going to give this up. I feel too good. I feel too well. I feel too healthy. Well, if you can feel too healthy. I don't mean excessively so. I mean, I feel healthier now, coming up to 60 years of age, than I did when I was coming up to 20, 30, 40 or 50. And if I could bottle what I'd got and give it away, I'd be bottling it, because I'd love it for everybody to get this. Even if you don't need to lose weight, look at eating the Slimming World way. So your husband may not need to lose weight, or your wife may not to. You may need to. Just feed your family like this. It works. It's lovely. Okay. I'm getting off my soapbox now because I need to go and eat. And just want to send love to all of you. Thanks for staying with me. Thanks to my new subscribers. I'm blown away by the support and the encouragement and the friends I'm making out there. And as I said at the start, look for Debbie SW. Give her a watch, give her a thumbs up, give her a subscribe. She's worth it. She's working really well at this plan. She's nice. And love to everybody. But the one thing I will say at the end of every video, till you get sick of hearing it, is remember, it works if you work it. It won't if you don't. Have a really good week. Thanks for watching. Bye.